Round 3. Today we head off to China. Now we battled China a few weeks ago in SFR. Pretty good race. It's not a track that's been used quite as heavily since it's been removed from the in real life calendar, but it's here. I quite like it. I like the technical sections of Sector 1, especially Turn 1, and then the fast flowing sections of Sector 2, and then the flat out and tight end to the lap in Sector 3. It's quite a good track, good overtaking spots, I believe, but I think there might be someone here who is probably against it, and that is Kachao joining me. Kachao, do you like China?
No.
No.
Do you first of all? No, I don't like it.
No, I saw Havina complaining earlier about the tyre temperatures. I think tyre temperatures are a big thing, aren't they? Because obviously you've got Sector 1, which Turn 1 does burn your tyres out a little bit. You have to carry a lot of speed through there. And then you've got the fast flowing Turn 8, isn't it? Turn 7, maybe?
Yeah, the left right.
Yeah, that does burn some tyres up. And then you've got the long sweeping right-hander before you get onto the back straight. So it can burn tyres up, but yeah, I think if you get a good setup, it might. What's the word I'm looking for there? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it might counteract that. That's it. And yeah, see how you go. See how we go. But just waiting for the first driver to come out. I think Delta Lima is looking like he's going to be leaving the pit lane. But there's another car further up. And that looks like it's the Haas of Dundee or Andre. Looks like it could be Andre. Andre is the first driver out on track, so that's customary. I'll ride on board his whole outlap and flying lap to get a feel of what the track is that we are doing today. Quite easy to invalidate laps here, especially in this middle sector. After that sweeping left-right, you've then got the double left-hand at 90 degrees. It's very easy to run wide or take too much inside curb, and that can screw quite a few drivers up with their timed laps. And then the last corner as well, maybe on a good lap pushing quite hard, and then you might run wide at the last corner or take a bit too much apex and invalidate your lap.
I would agree with you on those two.
Yeah.
I think those are the only two corners where you can really invalidate, because I don't think there are many corners where you actually run to the like where you use all the track. Maybe the sweeping right, but even then you usually be very cautious to not spin. And you could maybe cut the hairpin coming up, but we all know about the cuts in this game, so usually try to stay away from the cut here. Yeah,
I think it's more if you're pushing on a lap, you're really trying to get every ounce of it, especially coming into this last corner. It's very easy to lose a bit of focus on the time rather than the lap, and you can quite easily invalidate. So we're heading down to Turn 1. Brake late into it, just follow it. You've got to be really patient with the throttle. If you get on it too early, you will be drifting wide, and then if you get on the power too early here, the back end does seem to flip out, and you get a lot of oversteer coming out of that corner. Good overtaking spot coming up, as Ricardo showed on Bottas a few years ago at China, the last time he raced there. And here is the corner of the tyre killer, so this will ruin your tyres and overheat them. You've got to be flat out through here, and just nearly touches the grass, but he's okay. Keeps the pace, keeps the speed. Comes up to the double left-hander. If you run right there, you invalidate. If you run wide here, you invalidate, but he's good so far. And we're going to come into the heavy braking zone to end Sector 2 into Sector 3. I always find this corner very tricky. I never know how to do it. What would you recommend through this part?
Just don't spin. That's all I can say honestly, and I'm not very good at not spinning, so I think I'm not the right guy to ask.
I always found the last bit of it on the inside. If I was too close to the inside curb, I'd always throw me out and end up crashing. At that point, we got Dundee, who spun at the exit of the hairpin. But so far, it's going to be but it's going to he's going to get a bit of a slipstream, which is good for him. He gets a slipstream and he sets a 1:32.709. So who's the next car? Is it the Mercedes of Samba? No, it might be the Mercedes of Delta. Delta goes second fastest with he's a tenth and a bit just off. And then we're going to have the Alfa Romeo of Toss is even further back, but he is on the medium tyre. What strategy would you go for here?
I think it's a simple soft medium. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some people going soft hard just to be safe. But it should be a one stop. Like the likes of Stein and only are definitely going to do a one stop.
I'm trying to work. I can't remember who won the SFR race.
Let me check.
Let me have a look. Race results. We don't do that anymore. Hang hold up just a second. Standings. So Holmesy won the race. Cali Rob came second, and Dace came third. No, he didn't. Lasser came third, and Dace came fourth. So there's 3 out of those 4 drivers racing NRL, and that is it's Holmesy, it's Kelly, and it is Dace. So we'll keep an eye on those 3 drivers.
I remember watching a race from Stein's POV, and he was all over the place.
Yeah.
I think he ran out of fuel like half a lap to go, and just slowly coasted to the end.
But however, ERT Samba doesn't race in SFR, he does race in NRL, and from what I've seen, he is absolutely rapid. So we'll keep an eye out for him. He's just about to start his flying lap. He comes across the line. Obviously in a Mercedes, but it's equal cars performance, so no, there's no performance upgrade apart from the fact that you think the Haas is worse than the other cars on the grid, don't you?
It's absolutely should. It might just look for excuses, but
oh yeah, we've lost Dundee. He's in the pits. I'm not sure why he's retired though. He's left the session. Interesting. Maybe he just doesn't like the track that much.
Nah, he's in the half, so maybe it's the car's work for him. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. But riding on board with Samba, he takes quite a close line to the inside as he goes around the flowing fast left-hander. This is the part of the track that I used to love on China. When you're going flat out, it's a good track for hot lapping. Is China. There's a lot of time to gain, a lot of time to lose.
I have to agree that the layout itself isn't the worst.
Oh, and Samba has lost it on the exit. That's exactly what happens to me usually. So it's good to know that he is human, and he can stack it like the rest of us. So we'll jump off board of him, and let's go on with Dace. Now Dace is pretty handy around here. Currently on the medium tyres. So Kachal's already said you can do a soft medium or a medium soft here possibly. Medium soft is the opposite strategy, and it can pay dividends at the end of your stint with being able to go faster at the end.
The tough part about the reverse strategy is always trying to stick with the soft runners in the first stint.
Yeah, it's quite a tyre difference, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you are on high fuel and need the extra grip in those fast sweeping corners. It can be very tough to follow the car ahead, but once you get DRS, even though you really do lose a lot of time in Sector 2.
Yeah.
On tracks like Austria, that doesn't really make a difference because you have those 3 DRS zones, so it's very easy to stay within DRS. We do have 2 here, but the middle part is just, there are just so many corners where you can lose time to the cars ahead. So it's very hard to really stick with someone ahead when he has better tires than you.
So we've lost PHG. Just reading through the discussion. Looks like PHG Vengeance hasn't showed up today, so we can't join now. Which is a shame. We still have 19 drivers on the grid. Dace ended up setting a 32.6, so he's currently the fastest driver on the medium tyres. We have Samba is not on a flying lap. Is he going to box, or is he going to? He's going to box and probably do a soft tyre stint. He's going to have to now, unless he wants to do a last to first on the opposite strategy. Yerdy's having a good time so far.
Where's Dace? Oh, there he is. So Dace mentioned in the group discussion chat that he did a 30.0 invalid, which was half a second faster than Stein. So it's interesting to see that Stein on his banker already went faster than he did in the practice session currently.
Okay, well, I was just going to say Toss. I was just following Toss there. He was on a good lap. He was 4/10 up on his best time, but he just invalidated around those two left-handers that I mentioned earlier. Ran a little bit wide, so that's his lap over and done with. Just jump on board Delta as he comes up to turn 3. Or is that 4? Does that kink count? I don't know.
I know it counts in Austria, so I guess it counts here as well. I don't know.
So it's these two corners. You don't want to be running too wide at any of these. He does drift a little bit, just about keeps it. Misses that apex, understeered through the apex there. Then we're going to come to the heavy braking zone. Another long sweeping right-hander where you never know. You've got to be patient with the power at the start and then floor it. Yeah, Samba's saying that he's messed up his medium lap, so that's him done with.
Stein's currently almost 3/10 up in sector 2.
Stein's up in sector 2, is he? So where's Stein? We'll jump on board with Stein in just a second. So just going to finish off with Delta's final run. He's still valid as he hits the last corner, and he's spun it. He's alburned it. Hit too much of the inside curb, and he is around. Exactly what. Let's see if Stein does the same thing. So run back on board with Stein. He's going to come up to the final corner.
This should be a 30.
And does take a lot of curb and does lose a bit of time now, I would have thought. But it does end up going 2.5 tenths. Did you say he was 4 tenths quicker at one point?
3.
3, so he lost about a tenth there. And Tally, who's Tally's Spur 508? I haven't seen him in the league yet, but that's a pretty good time from him. Yeah, currently in P2.
I have to say though, Hondy is so confusing when it comes to quali. He just stayed in the pits for like 12 minutes and now he's out on the mediums.
Yeah, so let's jump on board with Honesy. He does like a bit of China.
Oh yeah, he really does.
Mr. Woot is invalid. Mark of Kenya doing his Mark of Kenya things and staying in the pit lane. So Honesy's just about to finish his lap, and he goes P9 on the medium with a 32.7. So he's currently 8 tenths slower. No, because that's because Yerdy's changed to the tyre. So he's a tenth and a bit off Dace's medium run. So Dace is still the fastest medium runner. If you're in Dace's position right now, what would you be thinking?
I would try to be the last car out on track and then just abort when... Honestly, I don't know if it really makes sense to start like P9 on the mediums when you can be top 3. I would still prefer track position, but if he gets like 7 or P8, so if he stays where he is, which I doubt, then I would start mediums, but I think it makes more sense to go for the softs.
So Samba is just about to finish his flying lap. He lost a bit of time around that the long right-hander towards the beginning of the third sector. He did seem to get a bit of oversteer there. And he comes round the final corner, still valid, and he's going to pound down to the line, and he goes fastest by 1.5 tenths. So currently on provisional pole, the 31.003. So I bet he's a bit annoyed at that he's not in the minute 30s. If you can even be annoyed at that. He's on provisional pole, so that's good for him. Honesy's gone faster into P7 now with a 32.135, and that pushes Dace down to P9. So Dace is probably going to be thinking about putting a set of soft tyres on and going out again.
Wow, Domi very, very loose out of the hairpin.
And as I jump on board with him, he's very, very loose into the final corner as well, and actually does more of an Albon than what Delta did earlier. So, and he spins around again.
Yes. I thought he was trying to go into the pits.
Just as I jump aboard with Eric, he is now invalid. Just invalidated his lap. Now, what's Honesy going to do? Is he going to come back in the pits? Has he got time to get back in the pits?
Spinning again.
Oh dear! And has he damaged his rear wing there? Is there rear wing damage enabled in this league? I can't remember.
Yeah, it is. But
he took a bit of a hit there.
Yeah, but it will get fixed when he goes into the pits. Jesus,
oh.
Tommy, just cool down your tires. What are you doing?
And Eric has just spun it on the turn 1. No, the long right. I need to learn what the corner numbers are. Mr. Woot is in sector 1 on a hot lap. Let's see what he can do.
It's time to make back into the pits.
Eric has now retired from the session. So he hasn't managed to set a tyre. Has he crashed, has he? Ah, yes, my favourite spot. That's where I usually DNF. Normally on the inside, though, not on the outside. So Yerdy's on a flying lap. What's his? He's 2.5 tenths up on his best times. That's going to put him well into the mid 31s, possibly into a provisional P4 spot here. If he can carry on this, he's looks like he could be pretty handy at China today. Let's keep an eye on the dark horse of Yerdy. Always been a quick driver, midfield driver. He wouldn't probably mind me saying that, but he always does. He puts himself in some good positions in some races and has extremely bad luck. So I remember Monza. He just runs wide there and invalidates his lap. I remember at Monza, I think he was in a really good position, and he got into a bit of a ding-dong battle with, I think it was Dommy Lee, and ended up spinning out and having to go into the pits after crashing at turn 1. So it's a shame for him. There, he was on a good lap just then. No, I think so. We've got Samba on another outlap, Stein, Talisburr, Havina, who was moaning about the tyre temperatures. He's in P4 at the minute. He needs to find at least 3 tenths to jump into P3. Mr. Woot's backed out. Is that blocking there from whatever McLaren that is? I don't know. Stewart.
Havina decided to go out on mediums.
Has he? Okay, interesting. Stewart has gone 2 tenths faster in his first sector, so he's looking at improving at least a position here, provisionally, into P4, if not P3, so he's looking to get onto the second row of the grid. He's mentioned in the Discord chat that the mouse is back in the house. Personally, I think he was wrongly disqualified last week from the race, but that's just my opinion.
Did he get disqualified for the Stewards or the game?
By toss. So he was supposed to share. He was supposed to serve a one-shot qualifying, but the race briefing didn't confirm, and he just forgot. Did a qualifying lap. He was at the back of the grid. It was a terrible lap, so he was still at the back of the grid, only in front of people who had crashed out basically or hadn't set laps, and yeah, ended up getting disqualified. So. And he goes around at the final corner. He was up as well. That would have been a good lap. And he is now, that's his qualifying over, probably. Yes, it will be. Stein is down, is he? Yeah, 10th and a bit. So we'll see if he can improve. There's a McLaren, stricken McLaren on the right. Who is that? Who was that? That is Dace. No, it wasn't. It's Dommy Lee. That was Dommy Lee. It wasn't Dace. Dace is yeah, so that is interesting, the fact that there was a McLaren and it was Dommy Lee's McLaren, I believe. Let's ride on board with Stein as we come through here. Why was Dommy Lee not ghosted? Toss is invalidated. Mr. Woot is improved and he is up to P10 now. Honesy is 4 tenths up on his best time. Honesy, look out for him. He's going to be moving.
No.
Who's that?
He was 2 tenths up. He was 2 tenths up.
Yerdy. And that's the bad luck I was talking about. He just seems to, he puts himself in a good position and then just makes a silly mistake or just gets involved in something. And yeah. So what's Honesy? I didn't see what he's. Honesy's 9 tenths or 8.5 tenths up. This is going to put him.
This is going to be 4.
Not quite. I think he's got a lot. He's got another 2/10 to find in the final sector.
Use the medium, so he will gain a lot. Oh, never mind, he ruined it. Yeah.
Who's that? Honesy?
Yeah, he just went way too deep into the hairpin and just lost him.
I don't know, you might still be alright, you might still jump up quite high. Oh, he's backed off. He's backed off. Interesting. Okay, so he backed off there. He's going to start P9. Is that a good starting spot?
Poor. Andre. Yay. Oh, Mr. Wood, never mind. So, P9, if that's a good starting spot, I don't see...
P10 now. Honesy's dropped down to P10. Viet has just jumped above into P4, I believe.
Honestly,
he wasn't there earlier.
I think Toss is has a better starting spot than Fonzie, because Toss is going to get fresh mediums, and I'm pretty sure that Fonzie's mediums are like 2 or 3 laps old.
It's saying 2 laps, but obviously that's a out lap and an in lap, so that's technically 4 or 5 laps worth of tyre wear already. So yeah, I think you might be right about that.
Flying laps on his mediums, I think. Let me actually check in the... Yeah, he said 2 flying laps on the mediums. So I think he's going to have quite a bit of wear already. It is pretty hard to get safety cars around here because the walls are very far away. I do think that we have a few guys in here who won't have trouble finding the wall. I'm not going to call anyone out, except Marco Kenya. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see any safety cars. So will be interesting for Hornby.
Yeah. So I've just been looking through the chat as we talk about that. Dommy, even though it said he retired, he hadn't actually retired, and he assumed that the driver behind was on an outlap. So he is basically just blocked and ruined Stein's lap, and he was down though. He was down, so you know, you never know what could have happened at the end, but he could have still improved. He's still in P2, so that's all right for him. Good starting spot. He got Samba on pole, Stein in P2, Talisburr in P3, Viet P4, Dace in P5, Havina P6, Stewart P7, Andre P8, Yerdy P9, and Honesy P10. As you already mentioned, the top 9 is going to start on the soft tyre, Honesy's going to start on the medium, and then everyone above, everyone 11th down, can choose their own strategy. Would a hard tyre be good to start on here?
Actually, yes. I don't think he watched League Racing really. Like PSGL, for example. Do you watch that stuff?
No.
So they had a pre-season race.
Wow.
PSGL is basically full of eSports drivers.
Yeah.
And Jan Ortman decided to start on the hards, and towards the end of the first stint, he was so much faster than the median guys. So I think if you can, like we talked about earlier, stick with the guys ahead on better tires, I think it's a good idea to start on the hards actually.
So I think the race default strategy is a hard tyre start, because when I logged into the race director, everyone was on a hard tyre. But now some of them are slowly starting to choose mediums. Obviously Honesy's got the medium tyre on, he's locked into that. But Toss has chosen medium, Dommy's chosen medium, and Ben and Exotic have chosen medium tyres as well. Everyone else is on the hard, so yeah, you're going to have a bit of struggle with tyre warm-up, and possibly not quite as much grip through the flowing left and right handers that happen on the track, but you will be able to go a hell of a lot deeper into the race and use the overcut to improve your position at the end. A few more drivers, only 4 at the minute, are actually starting on the hard, so it's interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Where did Mark of Kenya finish? He's P19, wow. He doesn't like qualifying, does he?
I honestly don't know why he even... I don't know. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Is that the Qatari flag? Looks like he's racing under Qatar. IRL Dundee isn't racing, and he is going to be ghosted, which is going to cause a few issues.
Yeah, I think that is going to be very, very annoying at some point.
Yeah, especially if we get safety cars. as we found out last week in SFR, where Mark of Kenya actually got a legal overtake at the end of the safety car period. So watch out for that. But it looks like 4 drivers are going to risk the hard tyre. We'll take out Dundee, so 3 drivers are going to risk the hards, which are Mark, Eric and Mr. Hoot. So we'll watch out for that.
So we'll just switch to the medium.
Ah, okay, he threw a medium tyre on right at the end. He was doing a bit of ducking and diving. Interesting.
I do think it makes a lot of sense for the guys at the back, like Eric and Mark, to start on the hards.
Yeah, hopefully they get maybe an early safety car, shift them up, and they'll be pretty good for that. As we get led away by Samba down into turn 1 on the formation lap, who is your money on for the race win today?
I'm not going to be boring and say Samba. I'm going to be boring and say Hongi.
Yeah, Holmesy does like China. He is currently down in P10 on the opposite strategy though, so he's got a lot of work to do to try and get that back.
The big problem with starting on reverse is always making sure you get through safely, because there's always chaos in the midfield. Doesn't matter what league, you always get.
Yeah, and turn 1 is chaotic at best as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just...
It's a never-ending...
Yeah. Like, you have so many different lines, and then going to the apex, people think they have space and just dive on, and the other guy's not expecting it. It's very tough first corner.
So obviously quite a bit of a field spread. We've got Samba coming round the straight, and we've got Mark of Kenya. No, Dundee is only just coming onto that part. It's just only just finishing sector 2. So quite a bit of a field spread. We're going to have Samba losing some temperature on the grid. Who's that? Kenya?
He just pulled off to the side, tried to let Dundee go, and his ghost just decided to stop on track.
Interesting. So Kenya's going to have a bit of... He's going to have to start catching up.
Whenever you're bored, just watch Mark of Kenya.
Yeah. Never fails to disappoint you. Very, very fast driver. Race winner in his own right. I think he is. I think he's a fast driver. He is a race winner. He drifts around the final corner, picking him up, and yeah, he does that. So putting a show on for the cameras, I bet. And he's now driven through Eric home.
I'm going to look at Hongi and see what's going to happen in a minute.
Excellent. So I'm going to jump on board with Yerdy just to get a good view of the... it keeps the focus on the track rather than focus on the front guys at the start, so you can see everyone start, I've noticed. So we've got a glitch going on here. I don't know what's going on, but why have we got this camera view? I don't want this camera view. 5 lights, they're out, and we're going. I don't want this view. This is an awful view. Right, now we've got a bit of give there. So Samba leads us away. Stein's lost the position. Stein's down in P3 now. We've got some drivers going wheel to wheel round the outside, round turn 1. A few drivers losing positions, but everyone's clear apart from the exotic. Holmesy's round. Yeah, Holmesy's round.
No.
Well, as you mentioned, just people trying to find the apex and dive bombing. Kenya has made 4 positions up already, and he's looking to go up the inside. Is he going to look up to get 3 wide into that corner? Don't do it, but he does, and he's trying to get round. And we've got the Yerdy. Yerdy, unfortunately, is now lost down into P18. Holmesy P19, both losing 9 positions. So not a great start for those 2 drivers. Samba still leads us away, 7/10 gap. And other than that, the top... It's still quite... And Yerdy's round again. Unfortunate for Yerdy, he is having a horrible start to the race.
Tails.
And who's that running very wide? That's the Alpine of Tallers, run very wide, run that long sweeping right-hander, and that's going to give Stein an opportunity to go round the outside into the hairpin. Is he going to be far enough ahead? I think he is. Yeah, he's gained that P2 back, but Tales is going to fight back into the up the inside. But Stein will keep the inside line, cuts back in front of the Alpine of Tales, and keeps his P2. And very squirrely on the exit there from that, and that gives Dace the opportunity to move into P3. So in space of a couple of corners, Tales has gone from P2 down to P4.
Dash around in the last corner? Yeah, that's dash around in the last corner.
Delta, oh dear. So he's now, Yerdy's just behind him. Yerdy's coming in the pits.
I have no idea what's happening to Tails. In the last 5 corners, he almost spun 3 times. Seems to have a very, very loose rear.
Who's that, Yerdy?
No, Tails, Thales.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got, let's jump back on board with him, because Avina's very close. And there he goes, and as I jump back on, yeah, he's gone round. Those tyres, he's lost his front air wing end plate, and he's going to have to try and get back on track, and he is, yeah, that's his race pretty much ruined. He needs a safety car now to try and get back to the front of the grid.
I don't know if he seems to really...
Oh, that's a good move there from Exotic. Exotic's going round the outside of Domi, got a switchback move into that... Wow, that's a good move. Domi is going to fight... Is it Andre? Or is it, oh, who's that spinning around in the background? That's Mr. Woot spinning around in the background. We're going to go 3 wide into the hairpin. Oh, Domi's trying to find it. The Haas on the outside. We've got an Alpha on the inside, a Ferrari in the middle, and Exotic gets that move done. That's a good move there from Exotic. He's gained a lot of positions. Those medium tyres are probably starting to come alive a little bit now, and we got a driver around on the final corner. Who is that? That's Toss the Caber. No, it's not.
No, it's Stuart.
It's Stuart. Oh no, Stuart spun round in the Alfa Romeo. He is now having a good race. He said the mouse is back in the house. It looks like the mouse has been caught in the mouse trap, and he is now down in P14.
And Ben are going side by side through turn 1 and 2, Ben around the outside. I don't think he's going to hold it. Nah, Toss is back ahead.
Toss is back ahead, and Tales is now retired from the session. That's unfortunate. He was having a good drive. As you mentioned, looks like he's having a bit of a...
Already in P11, wow.
I know, that's what I mean. He's very, very good coming from the back of the grid. It's when you put him at the front, he doesn't seem to like it. So Tales has now left the session. That's his race over and done with. And his session...
Very, very wide. And Exotic is really, really pushing.
And look at that. Those medium tyres have come alive for him. The soft tyre runners are obviously having tyre... He's going to go up the inside.
Don't send it. Take the S and just go for the easy. Yeah, and just go for the easy.
Yeah, this is where he got the power down on Domi earlier and just drove around the outside of him. Seems a bit slower though there. Probably got a bit of dirty air from Andre ahead, but the DRS is enabled. He's going to get this move done. He's already ahead before the DRS zone is even there. And Domi's going to come through as well. Domi's going to switch to the inside. Is he going to make a move up the inside of Exotic into the hairpin? Oh, very late on the brakes to just get out of that move. Tyres are glowing hot. And he's now got a 3-second time penalty, along with Viet. Viet's got a time penalty as well. What's Viet's? Is it 3 seconds? Yeah. 3 seconds for Viet in the Williams. And Holmesy. Wow, Holmesy picks up a time penalty. But he's up into P12. That's a good... he's obviously had a few spinners ahead of him who have spun around. But he's back up into P12. What's his gap to the leader? His gap to the leader is 12. He's only lost 12.5 seconds, so he is still in this. Domi's got past Andre now. Andre's going to try and fight back into turn 3 or turn 4. We haven't decided which one it's called just yet. He's going to go up the inside, and Toss has just spun Domi round, and yeah.
I'm not going to like that one.
No. Yeah, Toss was a bit... he thought he was Ricardo, but it turns out he was Mazepan.
Yeah. I am pretty sure he knows, but that was not a good move.
No, it wasn't. Not at all. Very late on the brakes and just didn't work out for him. So Domi has now been pushed back. Only a few positions, but that gives Holmesy another free position. Kenya's in P10 and he's looking to make a move on Toss. Let's ride on board with Toss as we go around this final corner, see if he makes another move. Holmesy's got the inside of Mark of Kenya there in the background.
And that's Andre gone in the wall.
And Andre is safe in the wall.
He looks very, very loose in a few corners before, but always...
Yeah, so Toss is going to... Is he going to do a dive bomb? No, he's he's thought against it, and Mark of Kenya is behind Honesy now, so Honesy now up to P9. So he's back on the back of this group now, so that's good for him to be there. As Viet comes in the pits, Viet wants to get off these soft tyres. They're obviously not feeling too good for any of them. And I think Exotic's in a very good position here in P4, 5, sorry. He's done very well to get himself up there. What's his position change? He started
11 positions gained.
11 positions.
Also 9
yeah.
positions.
Kenya's gained 10. So yeah, these medium tyre runners are having a good time of it. And Kenya's actually on the hard tyre, so he's making a very good job of it right now. But I think Exotic, if he can keep this pace up, he's in a very good position here to possibly get a very good point scoring, if not a podium, if not even a victory. He's only 5... What's his gap to leader? Gap to leader's 10 seconds, so it's probably a bit too far off to get a win, but possibly a podium, a very strong podium finish.
I have to say that I'm a bit surprised that Samba is not really managing to pull away. And
no.
There's a huge EAS deficit on Stein, never mind Stein.
Yeah, I was just about to say, well, maybe he's saving tyres, but obviously he's not. He's really going flat out there. Yeah. And Dace is sticking with them. Dace has got 50-odd%, Stein's got 50-odd%, so those two are in pretty good position. Havina is not too far behind with 50-odd%. Samba's pitting, so yeah, Samba's not happy on these soft tyres. Dace and Stein stay out.
To keep an eye on.
So is that Samba committing to a one stop? We'll see what he's going for the hard, so that's a one stop onto the hard tyre. So watch out for him.
I don't know if that's the right decision. I do not know.
Havina's come in the pits as well. Havina's committing to the...
Toss is round in turn 1. I think he just touched the inside curve in turn 1 and just went.
Got him.
Oh, and Jesus, it's interesting to see that everyone tries to go flat out again, even though their tires must be streaming.
Yeah.
And they just keep spinning. I don't know why they don't slow down. Yeah,
right, so it's now
in P3 and P4.
Yeah, and not too far. They got clear air now, so Exotic just has to drive his race and try and get as close, because Samba's going to lose some time. He's going to be coming through drivers on differing strategies now. What is his drivers ahead of him? Yeah, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers ahead of him on mediums, 1 on a hard, and Stuart on the soft, which is going to who'll be coming in the pits very soon. So he's going to come up to a lot of traffic soon.
I have this gap to the leaders on. He's just gained a 10 in safety 2, so he's not making up too much time on Stein and Dace. Stein in the pits, Dace in the pits, so he's definitely going to be ahead, no question. But
switchback move there from Kenya, going up the inside of Domi Lee into the hairpin, but Domi's got the power down for the final corner, and a bit twitchy on the exit is Domi, but Kenya's going to have DRS, and probably Domi switches to the inside. He's going to make Kenya go round the long way around the outside, and Kenya's already ahead. Kenya's back into P4 now on the hard tyre. That's a very good position there for Kenya to be in. He's got the inside line for turn 2. He's going to get that move done and dusted. Hopefully Domi isn't going to have too many ideas about doing a dive bomb at the inside. He's thinking about it. Kenya's blocked off that. Very nicely done. Made a decision late, and Domi is now stuck behind Mark of Kenya.
So those next steps are going to be key. Samba is now coming up to cross in this route. He really has to make sure he gets past as soon as possible, because he has Stein and Dace on the left, pressure ties behind. And if he gets stuck, it might be tough to keep them behind for long, especially towards the end, because one lap can make a huge difference.
Yeah, but look at this. Honesy is right on the back of Ben now in P3. He's done well to get himself back up. He's obviously got a lot of pace here, and he is doing absolute bits. Is he going to be close enough to Ben into the braking zone? No. Typical Honesy. He doesn't. He's very calculated with his. Yeah, so I knew exactly who you were talking about then, so I just clicked straight on Mark of Kenya. 3 wide. You've got a Mercedes, an Alpha, and a Tauri, all fighting for the same bit of track. And Samba has lost out, and he's not. He's going to be stuck in this battle now. He's got 2 cars there. He will have DRS, but so will the Alpha Tauri of Mr. Woot. Samba gets past one, gets squeezed out. He's going to try and go the inside. And Mr. Woot is fighting that position very well. We've got a yellow flag, and it is... don't know who that is. It's someone, but let's jump back into this battle, because Samba has now got round those 2 drivers very nicely, and he's now up into P6 on the hard tyre. And, yeah, Stein and Dace have now got to fight through. He didn't actually lose too much time.
No, I didn't.
So it's good for him. We've got another yellow flag. It's an Alfa Romeo, is it? Stuart Little had a bit of trouble around turn 1 as he was coming out onto his fresh hard tyres.
I think only might be going for a move soon. Oh, ELT Samba gets a 3-second penalty. Okay. Stein, I remember watching his SFRS, I'm pretty sure he did get... oh no, he did get a penalty. I don't know. Now Honda doesn't want to go past Ben apparently.
He's picking his time, isn't he? He doesn't normally go for the ambitious overtake. He's very calculated. So we'll watch him through here. He's obviously a bit of a train because Ben's going to have DRS. Ben's closed the gap to Exotic a little bit here, which means he's now in the DRS zone. And yeah, Honesy just can't get close enough down the straight.
But look at Wood and Toss sticking to the back of Samba.
Yeah, they're not too far behind, are they? So Samba is on the hard tyre. They're on 8-lap-old medium, so...
oh, and look at Toss, yes.
He's got loads. He's saving that up, isn't he? He's going to save that up for the stint at the end. What tyre do you reckon he's going to go on to? Is it going to be the hard, or is it going to be the soft?
I personally would never do medium hard, so I would look to stretch until like lap 20, 19, 20, and then go for the soft.
So you think only about 8 laps, 8 or 9 laps max for the soft tyres?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Will the mediums go 18, 19 laps though, with good pace? How much pace do you reckon they're going to lose towards the end?
A lot, but the softs are going to be like 3.5 seconds faster than the old hards.
Honesy's gaining. Honesy's a lot closer this time. He's on the back of Ben. He pulls out to the inside. He's going to get Exotic as well, I think. He's going to get both.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets past Exotic the Ferrari. Well, maybe Exotic was holding up Ben a little bit there. And Honesy now takes the lead of the race. Exotic in P2 and Ben in P3. We've got a yellow flag and it looks like it's the Aston Martin. Which Aston Martin, it's Yerdy who's round again, unfortunately. He's having a horrible, had a good qualifying. Apart from invalidating a couple of his really fast laps, and from then on it's just been a bit of a struggle for him as Eric Holmes gets overtaken by Delta, and Delta's fighting back and keeps P13 and stays ahead of Eric, and he keeps P13, so that's good. So Eric will have DRS down the straight, but it's not quite long enough. They're saying that he's going to fly past him into turn 1, and Eric takes P13 back, moves Delta down to P14.
I have to say that I'm very impressed by Mr. Wood sticking to the back of Samba and being what's fine. I don't think he made up much time to Samba. I think the gap is still around 3 seconds. What
is the gap? So yeah, it's 3.3 seconds it looks like from Stein to Samba, and that's what it was when he came out. So there's a bit of bottleneck right now with Woot and Toss, but as you said, Mr. Woot and Toss are sticking with Samba.
And Samba now does have a 3-second time limit, and he has Marco.
Yes, he does. Yellow flag, sector 2. Who's that? That's Havina, who was obviously moaning about the tyre temperatures. He's obviously kind of a bit of a cropper with it. He's only on 3-lap-old medias though. Stein going very fast, flies past Tosakaba, ahead even before the braking zone. No battle going on there, so Stein may use a position. His teammate up ahead, Mr. Woot, is probably going to be one of the easier overtakes he will make today. Mr. Woot should open the door for him, let him through.
Tosses in.
Gap opened up between Mr. Woot and Samba now, so there's 2 seconds Mr. Samba's opened up the gap from. So it looks like Samba's
going medium hard. I don't know. I don't understand that strategy before, but maybe he has different tire wear on medium traction control, for example. I'm not too sure, but
I just jumped on board with that as they look very close on the timing screens. And Viet can't get past. Havina's tyres are probably screaming a little bit as well. And Mr. Woot still keeping the gap to Stein. Stein had to get off the power a little bit there around the long sweeping turn 6, I think it is. Turn 6.
And Case is trying to go more fast. He was right behind Stein and now he's 2.6 second gap.
He's not quite got the pace, has he? Stein's going to be very close to Mr. Woot here.
Samba almost spinning in the pass right.
Okay, so he's struggling on those mediums as well. He's going to have lost... Yeah, so Stein has gained about half a second there. Ben gets past Exotic into the braking zone. So Ben is now in P2, Exotic in P3. Let's watch Stein. Mr. Woot? No, he's not close enough to Mr. Woot.
Yeah, he's going to get past in 2.1 maybe. And I also think that Samba is going to get past Mark of Kenya and someone. Mark defending, yeah, Mark is defending.
Which way is Mark going to defend? He sticks to the middle of the track, and again, a good defending there from Mark.
I like seeing it.
He didn't
incredibly frustrated, but
he didn't pick a side. He stayed in the middle, so Samba had to pick a side. He just chose the inside. He is passed. Kenya is going to try and fight back, but I don't think he's got the pace or the exit speed. It looked like he was, but pulled out of that, and Samba has now got P5. Stein has got past Mr. Woot, so Stein now into P7. He's got Mark of Kenya between them. Again, Dace is losing time. At the minute, we've got Holmesy in the lead, and Samba is 5.8 seconds off Holmesy. They've both got 3-second time penalties. Ben is showing very good pace in this middle stint of the medium tyre runners. Halfway through the stint, he's showing very good pace, and Exotic appears to be struggling a little bit with a bit of oversteer and a bit of understeer. So watch out for his pace towards the end of this stint. And here comes Domi. As I say that, Domi goes to the inside.
Domi also has some great phase around here. After spinning, he's back up front runners.
Yeah, he is. So Domi, but Exotic's got the inside line. Domi has to get a good exit. He does, and moves up into P3. And Ben boxes. Ben comes in the pit. So what's his plan? Is he going soft? Is he going to go medium, soft, soft?
Nah, there's no way.
See what tyre he straps on. But a hard. It's a bit of no man's land at the minute, isn't it? To go onto the hard tyre. You're not quite far enough. He is going hard tyre. I didn't think he'd be far enough into the medium stint, and the hards aren't going to benefit him at this point. So, yeah, interesting from Ben to see what that kind of strategy he's running right now. Obviously, came in about 5 laps earlier. Those hards will last him, and he will have pace, a pace difference on the other drivers who are on the older 12-lap medium tyres. But we'll see. Stein can't pull away from Mr. Woot.
Mr. Woot is really doing a test today, sticking with Thelma, now sticking with Stein.
I definitely found that my pace always improved when if I was just driving on my own, I'd have no pace. But I always found that if I was behind a faster driver, I'd be able to stick with them a bit more. I still lose time to them, but I would stick with them a bit more and not lose as much time until they drove off, and then I'd go back to my default setting of slow.
But I have to agree with you 100% that it's so much easier to just follow a car ahead, because you just have to make sure you stay within DRS, and the rest of the lap you can basically just coast around. Yeah, I actually agree with you. It's so much easier to just follow cars. you don't have that much dirty air. Oh, and Holmes also killing. I don't get this.
Yeah,
I'm
so
very
what's...
surprised by these strategy calls.
So it's 14 medium laps, and there's going to be 14 hard tyre laps. If it is the hard. Yes, it's a hard tyre.
That
But
makes
then...
no sense to me.
Yeah, he did do a few extra laps on the hards though, didn't he?
Oh yeah, and he also spun.
Yeah, so you never
That
know.
makes a bit more sense, but I don't think we're going to see anyone doing the hards. Oh, I think yeah, Marco Pena is definitely going hard soft. There's no way he's going for the mediums. So I think the guy to watch out for is going to be Marco Pena.
Yeah, he's going to be very fast at the end. He's obviously down in P5 at the minute, but the gaps isn't too big, and he's still got Domi, Exotic, still to pit ahead of him, and all the drivers behind are due to pit as well.
To pick back up on Mr. Wood real quick, he might not, he might be behind those guys ahead, but even just driving behind them and having the DRS is going to gain him loads of time compared to the guys who already pit and who, oh, that's their turn again, I think. Yeah, moving on again.
So Holmesy's looking to get ahead of Viet now. He's going to have the DRS in just a second. There's the DRS line, it's open, and he is drifting ahead of Viet into P8, and he's now... Exotic's coming in, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he did 15 laps on the mediums, so more than 50%, and now he goes into the slower tire. No, I don't know.
So yeah, is he definitely on the hards, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So penalty update, Viet's on 6 seconds, then we've got Domi, Samba, Holmesy, Delta, Yerdy and Eric all on 3 seconds. All the other drivers haven't got time penalties yet. Big gaps between Eric, Yerdy, Delta and Andre before they get there. Who we got? We got a driver going round at turn 1. Well, very slow. Yellow flag popped up. I think it might have been Stewart. Yeah, I think Stewart's lost a lot of time there.
I think it was Exotic. He's 6 seconds behind Ben now, and he found it.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yerdy gets past Delta. Delta pits. Delta's in the pit lane. He's probably going to swap onto the medium tyre right now, I'd think, to get him to the end. Or did he start on mediums?
Delta?
Yeah. Is he pitted already, or is he just coming out the pits? Who knows? So Holmesy's in a P7 position. He started, so he's gone. Has he gone hard? Has he?
Yeah. So the only guys who haven't filled yet are Domi, Mark, and Roots, and Dundee. So I'm pretty sure that. Oh, Domi, no! Touched the curb in turn 1 and just went. He kinda kept it on track and lost in like 2 seconds or something.
Yeah, so he's now got Samba on his gearbox. Got a good exit out there though. Samba seems to have lost a bit of time. Holmesy set the fastest up of the race, so he's liking these hard tyres.
Yeah, that cost Domi like a second really.
So Domi has to go another 2 laps to go to switch to the soft tyre.
I think to be safe, the end of lap 19 I would say, even right a bit early, because the soft runners went in lap 6, they obviously had the wear from the formation lap and qualifying.
Oh, Samba looked like he was going to go up the inside there, but thought better of it. He's going to wait for the DRS zone. Good. Yeah, he's going to have the power.
Look at this. He's still stuck behind Wood and Mark of Kenya.
He is, and obviously Mr. Woot's got DRS on Mark of Kenya. Samba's switching to the outside of Domi, and he's ahead before the braking zone. Domi gives up that position without too much aplomb. And yeah, so Dace is still in that sandwich, and he's struggling to get through in that DRS train.
He's still in the net P3, but you can't forget that you have Domi is like 6 or 7 seconds ahead, I think, if my maths are correct. So I think pit stop around here is like 20 seconds.
At least,
So
yeah.
he would come out like maybe 13, 14 seconds behind on 3-second faster tires. So Domi might be looking at a podium if he gets a bit lucky with traffic and getting past the guys ahead. I don't know.
So Andre's pitting. Interesting to see what tyre he goes on to now. Probably the soft, would you say? A bit early for the soft, but he's in a bit of, we said about this before, a bit of no man's land with the strategy. There's no point, unless he goes another set of mediums. Yeah, another set of mediums, so that's understandable. Obviously he wasn't liking the feel of those ones. He's done a two-stopper. Anyone else done a two-stopper just yet? No, just Andre. Yodi's done a two-stopper, that was due to damage. And then we're still waiting on Domi, Kenya and Woot, and Dundee hasn't stopped yet, but Dundee is a retired vehicle.
Which is interesting.
He's
He started down the straight, but so he wasn't at the detection zone. Yeah, he just lost lots of time on the detection zone. Yeah, still, Domi is managing to keep up with Sandra.
and Mr. Mark of Kenya pits. That's quite early again for those softs, but unless he goes medium.
Nah, this is not. Come on, Mark.
Gamble.
It's mediums.
It is mediums. Okay, he's gone mediums. Doesn't like the idea of the soft tyres. No one likes the idea of the soft tyres in the second stint. He will still be a hell of a lot faster than everybody else.
Oh yeah.
So we'll watch out for his pace. So we've still got Mr. Woot to pit, and he's got Dace right behind him. Dace doesn't like getting held up, does he?
Yeah. He's just like, well, last time we talked about the gap, it was 2.6 seconds to Stein, and now it's over 4 seconds. So
runs very wide there, makes the most of it.
He should get past now. Oh yeah, definitely.
It's pretty much already ahead of him before we even got round the corner.
Yeah.
So here goes Dace. Is he going to filter him back behind? I think he is. He's not got the straight line pace advantage. When the DRS opens, that's him done up the inside. And that is that move done, unless Mr. Woot fights back round the outside or goes for the switchback move, which he does. He goes switchback, loses a bit of time on the exit, and keeps his P5, so Dace into P4 now. But as you said, lost a lot of time. 5 seconds behind Stein right now. Stein is... what's the gap from Stein to the leader? Stein is 5 seconds behind Samba, and Dace is nearly 10 seconds behind Samba. Holmesy's 13 seconds. Viet's moving up through the field, and he is currently in P6.
Yes, we have someone going soft. Sorry.
Right, so Mr. Woot is gambling with a soft tyre. He has got 9 laps to complete on these soft tyres. Let's see what his pace is and see how long these tyres can last, but he will gain a hell of a lot of positions at the beginning of this stint.
He's going to be so much faster than everyone else.
This is what you wanted to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was so certain on the strategy, and now only you guys going for it. Because there's no way that Domi goes for the hearts now.
Tommy's still got a decent amount of pace though on these mediums, so yeah, he's done a good thing. We've got a driver off. Is that Havina? Havina in the wall, but he's I think he's just in the gravel. No safety car just yet, so I think if Domi gets a safety car now, wow, that is his luck is back.
All of his ES, I imagine he's getting this back.
So Mr. Woot is already ahead of Stewart. Let's watch this drive.
Domi pitting at the end of lap 19. Let's go. I called one strategy.
This is when he puts the hard tyre on. Has he gone red? Red marked? Yes, I believe. Yes, red marked tyres.
Right. He's
Right.
essentially selling to what
So where you're going to lose a position to Viet. He's going to probably lose a position to Ben, but he should be out ahead of Exotic. He stays ahead of Exotic just. I don't know. Exotic's coming up fast. Where is it in the background? No, he's ahead. So Domi keeps P1, P7. Sorry.
What's this gap?
25 seconds.
25 seconds.
So yeah, you lose about 22 seconds on a pit stop here. Where's Mark of Kenya? Mark of Kenya is not gaining as much time as he probably would have liked. And everyone now, we've had all the pit stops. Everyone's pitted. The shakedown is Samba in P1 with a 5.2 second lead to Stein, with a 10.4 second gap to Dace, a 12 second gap to Honesy, and then Viet, Ben, Domi, Exotic, Kenya and Toss complete the top 10. Mr. Woot is going to be pushing and trying to gain as many positions as he can. He's currently got, what, 11 seconds to NRL Ben in P6. That's probably a doable position for Mr. Woot there, to gain 11 seconds with 8 laps remaining.
I would imagine that Domi is trying to push for a podium, maybe. He already gained 2 seconds on half a lap on base. So, I imagine that's what Domi is aiming for.
He hasn't got much ERS left though, he has been pushing.
Oh yeah, that's true. But his tire advantage is so significant that...
There goes Mr. Woot.
Why is Weird pitting? Is he on a 2-stop?
Yeah, he is. So Mr. Woot is past Toss the Caber, he's into P10. He's got Mark of Kenya just ahead of him, who is currently... How many positions? How many seconds? Mark of Kenya is 2 seconds ahead of Mr. Woot, so let's watch out for his pace. So Viet's now going to drop down to P13, but he is on fresh softs. What about Delta? Where is Delta? Delta coming round, just beginning the third sector. Yerdy just ahead. They're going to be lapped very shortly. Unfortunately, Eric in P15, Andre is P14, and unfortunately those 4 drivers, 1, 2, 3, 4, have all got pretty good gaps. They're all racing themselves, which is very boring on occasion.
So now think about where Domi could be if Toss didn't spin him.
Yeah, so what, he probably lost 5-6 seconds at least in that instance.
And then he lost another second touching the curb in turn 1, which put him like 6 seconds further ahead.
So he's probably looking at being 15 seconds behind, 14, 15 seconds behind Samba.
And only 5 seconds of a podium spot. Only does have a penalty, but so does Domi. Oh yeah, he got that weird one coming out of the hairpin, I think. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that warning appeared in the stewards channel.
All depends if he got any extra warnings after that though. If he did, then it will be upheld.
That doesn't look like it yet.
No?
Oh, wait, looking at the race director, it says invalidated lap time, warning, but no penalty.
Oh, we'll keep an eye on that.
Weird. Let's see what happens. Multiple warnings. Won't be surprised if he got one of those triple warnings in one corner, which the game for some reason loves to give out.
So Honesy is on the back of Dace, only 3/10 in it. Fastest lap at the minute is held by Mr. Woot, who is on those fresh softs, and he is yeah, coming up behind the back of Mark of Kenya. Looking to me, we got a yellow flag. It's a Red Bull, and it's the Red Bull of I don't know, but Honesy has got to a podium place. He gets past Dace, and Honesy back up into the podium. Dace is going to fight him back, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Honesy takes third. Dace looking up the inside, thinks better of it, and Honesy keeps third. Dace will have a bite of DRS down this straight, but he is quite far back, and it's not going to be close enough. So Honesy will keep P3, and he's now got to try and chase a 5.2 second gap down to Stein. So the minute we got Samba in P1, another yellow flag. Who's this? What's happened here? That Red Bull still hasn't moved.
Yeah, I think it's just the hot tires again.
Who was it? It was Eric. He was there for a long time.
Was it there? Oh yeah, it was.
Viet has just got past Stewart. Stewart's going to fight back. And Stewart's going to go around the outside. Brave move there from Stewart. Gets it done, but Viet's going to have the inside for the second part of the apex and gets ahead. That's a good move there from both drivers. Good driving. And Viet keeps his P11.
The 2-stop is not it.
Mr. Wu gets very squirrely on the exit of that corner. Maybe these tyres are just starting to feel a little bit worse for wear. You've got a yellow flag. It's Viet, is it? No?
Nice day, huh?
It's Ben. It was Ben who was round.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Ben was round. So he's round again.
Again. No, Ben, what are you doing?
So having a horrible last 5 laps. So he's now out of the points, down in P12. Shifts Viet back up into P10. Mr. Wu in P8. Kenya in P7. Exotic in P6. Gap then 9 seconds to Dobby.
But Dommy's not making up as much time as I thought he would.
No. Dace and Honesy are still close together. So Dace hasn't lost too much time. Honesy's gaining time. He's gained about a second on Stein.
Yeah, but he does have a penalty, so I do think that Dace will manage to stay at the back of him and get the last pole position. Mark coming up to the back of Exotic, so is Mr. Wood on the top, so the fight for P6 could end up being very spicy.
Yeah, other than that, it appears all the other battles are over and done with for the time being.
Oh, and that's... no, no, oh no.
Ben has retired. He's having a good race up until that point.
We have Liv going in on cross. So that could be interesting as well.
Yellow flag. Ah, it's the ghost of Ben coming up the pits.
I don't understand why the game does
that. I know, yeah. Gets all the drivers a bit excited, thinking, oh, we could be having a safety car here. Especially drivers like Delta, Eric and Yerdy and Andre at the back of the grid. They need a bit of luck right now. But I think at the minute, if a safety car did come out, it wouldn't impact them at all. Oh, who was that? That was wheel-to-wheel action there from Mark of Kenya and Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu goes past Mark of Kenya. He will try and fight back up the inside. And yeah, Mr. Mark of Kenya very late on the brakes.
That was a good move.
That was very good from Mark. And he keeps his P7. And he's going to try and keep the DRS with Exotic just ahead of him, which he does. And yeah, Mr. Wu probably hasn't got the pace advantage that he would have wanted now. As those tyres are, how many laps old? 5 laps old, which is when they do start to die at this track. But Kenya's going round the outside, switches to the inside of Exotic, around turn 1 and turn 2. And Mr. Woot very late on the brakes there. A yellow flag, is that Eric again, or is that Havina?
Oh, Mr. Woot, things that happen. Almost hits Exotic. Mark Kenny going for the switchback.
Yeah, gets it back again.
And I'm sure that Exotic knows what he's still behind, because that just means those two guys are burning out the tires and he can just wipe ahead of them. He almost did Exotic. Oh, Mr. Wood. I feel like Mr. Wood is using 1-1 wings or something. He's so fast in a straight line.
Yeah, he is. He's absolutely rapid. Gets past Mark Kenny quite easily with DRS. Leaves it very late to turn into the apex there, and another switchback there from Mark. That's a good move there.
I have to say, he's making Wood look like a fool right now.
Yeah. Woot hasn't got anything to fight back with right now, especially out of that corner. That's twice. Kenya's done the same thing. Woot switches back to the inside. Horrible camera angle. It's changed right at the last minute.
And meanwhile, Holmes is getting very, very close to Stein.
He is, but he's not going to be able to get the 2-second gap plus 3 seconds.
Oh no.
Unless Stein makes a mistake and gets a time penalty.
What I also love about this three-way fight, it's 4 position. None of them have penalties, so
that's a good point. So it's a difference of how many points here? Is it 25 for the win, then it's 18 for 2, 15 for 3, 12 for 4, 10 for 5, then it's 8 for 6, 6 for 7th, and 4 for 8th, if my maths is correct.
Yes.
Then 2 for 9th, and then 1 for 10. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's Red Bull on again.
Is it Red Bull around again? Is it Eric? Eric round again. He's struggling. It's always that corner or that series of corners. He's really struggling. Woot isn't close enough. He's going to break late this time. No.
Yeah, it's on. Let's look at the game. And is Mark trying to go for a move on Exotic now?
I think he's going to have to. If he wants to get Mr. Woot off his back, he's going to have to try and make a move on Exotic.
Yeah, but it's perfect for Exotic. Mark is so busy defending from Woot that he has no time to attack.
Well, okay, he's saying that. He goes up the inside, hits the curb, and that gives Mr. Woot an opportunity. Opens the door for Mr. Woot, but Kenya's going to. Oh, he had space to hang it around the outside then, but I think he probably thought in his head that Mr. Woot might squeeze him out a little bit. To mark of Kenya now.
And then such a stupid move.
So yeah, he hit too much of that inside curb, lost a lot of time, and now he's lost the position to Woot. But what he's got to hope is to follow Mr. Woot through on Exotic, and he could still keep that P7 that he had for so long. Holmesy is so close now to Stein. Stein's got DRS though from the back marker of Dundee, so that's not going to help Holmesy here.
If only has to try is to stay within DRS and try to get pulled along by Stein to get out of the 3-second window today and keep that podium.
So as we start the final lap of the race,
he's 3 seconds ahead of, yeah. It looks like they could be losing the podium.
And there we go. Dace has just picked up a 3-second time penalty now. So that ruins Dace's chances of getting that podium. Probably pushing a bit hard. That would look like it was round the final corner.
And meanwhile, Weir is right at the back of Mark, Wood and Exotic. But he got that.
But he has got quite a few time penalties. 9 seconds, is it?
Has to be either.
Mr. Woot is so close. You've got a yellow flag. Who's this yellow flag? It's Eric again, I believe. No, it's Havina this time. Both Red Bulls are really, really struggling. Mr. Woot has got he's got a few corners left to try and get back past Exotic into P6, which would be a great recovery drive. I said P6 after he came out of the pits to gain 11 seconds and get into P6. That'll be a good position there for Woot. He's going to be yellow flag. Red Bull.
I really. Okay, I'm going to look at Samba across the line and he focus on the baseball people.
Yeah, I'm just riding on board with Holmesy. Holmesy gets past Stein. Holmesy takes Stein for the final bit, and let's watch Samba. Yeah, Samba across the line. Samba wins the race, takes a checker flag. Holmesy takes P. Right, so let's get back on board with this battle. Holmesy takes second place, but we'll drop to third with time penalties.
And Exotic got out of DRS speed, so it's smart.
But Mr. Woot is nowhere near close enough. He lost so much time and actually didn't get DRS at all. So Mr. Woot obviously had a bit of an incident. He's pushing so hard for that P7, it looks like. He's going to have it. Mr. Woot's going to have the inside line. They touch wheels a little bit. They bang. Mr. Kaka Kenya's going round. He touched tyres again, and it looks like Kenya keeps his P6. Mr. Woot picks up a time penalty on that final corner for running a bit wide, and Mr. Woot takes P8 of the race. Looking good for a P6, but takes P8. Stewart gets P9. Viet gets P10. Toss comes home in P11. Well, that was a good race, I thought. Very strategy driven. Didn't know where the drivers were going to come out. I think we kind of knew that Samba was going to have a bit of a dominating win. 5.3 second lead. On track it was 8.3 seconds. Holmesy had a good drive. I'll give Holmesy that. What about you? Who's your driver of the day?
Domi or Exotic, I would say. I'm going to give it to Domi though, because he's the only one except Mr. Wolf who really made the medium soft work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Domi.
I'm very impressed with Mark of Kenya's drive. I think he was very, very clean. And
the last lap, I agree with you up to the point where he tried to send it on Exotic into someone.
It was only one corner though he's made a mistake on. All drivers get a little bit pushy. 12 positions gained. He gained the most positions. Made the hard. Only drivers do the hard soft. I don't know. I think it's definitely a toss-up between these three drivers: P7, P6, P5, Domi, Exotic, and Mark of Kenya. I don't really want to single any of them out. I think they all had great drives, but Holmesy as well, coming back from his spin to get, he's gained 7 positions off his starting position, but also was at the back of the grid with a spin at turn 1, so he's had a great drive at the back as well. So you can't take anything away from him. Mark of Kenya gets the Cody's driver of the day, but that is normally just based on how many positions you gain from your starting. But that is NRL Round 3, Season 6 done and dusted out the way. We have a winner of Samba, gets his, I think it's his second win out of 3. I think we're going to be looking at a bit of a dominating season. If we have a look at race results, wherever that is. Where's race results in this Discord? So Samba won Portugal and Holmesy won Austria. So yeah, Samba's set 2 wins in a row now. So look out for him as we go through the rest of the season.
Look at all those reverse track runners in the top 10, P12, P9, P16, P13, P10, all starting outside the top 10. Yeah, and I'm a bit surprised by Days. I thought he would be able to keep up with Stein, but those seconds still on the hards, I just didn't like those hards apparently.
Who was that, sorry?
Days.
Yeah.
Being able to keep up in the second still surprised me a bit. He looked very fast in the first and on the soft.
Yeah, Mark is saying that Exotic seemed to slow down at turn 1, so he went for the space. And Exotic then confirms that he's just slow into turn 1. Let's just watching down, reading down anything that's come up. Let me just get the race director up. Not race director, but final position, so it's easier for people to sort the standings out. Make sure I stay on it long enough so we get gaps. And final race time of 44 minutes, was that? Just over 45 minutes. 45 minutes and 4 seconds. So yeah, a good way to spend the evening. I'm not sure, what country is Samba from?
The world?
The world. So we've got obviously a Dutch 2-3, and Samba completes a Dutch PI, but who knows?
He's from Belgium.
Yeah, he is. So Belgium comes out on top of the Dutch today. Okay. I can't leave the session without quitting, I don't think. Is it frozen for me here?
Yeah, I don't...
Yeah. So I'm now going to quit the broadcast. Thank you for joining me today, Kachow. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in tomorrow night where SFR heads to Jeddah, which should be a very interesting race, to say the least. Bye-bye.